So Genesis International is one of the stocks on our radar. Dipan, just stay on for a bit. We'll come back to you. Very interesting discussion here. Survey of India and Genesis International have entered into a strategic tie-up for 3D digital twin mapping program in India. Now, Genesis specializes in advanced mapping, as we know. The company, though, has not been doing that well in terms of its earnings for the last 2 quarters. Losses have piled up. So more on that in a bit. But to discuss more on this and the opportunity ahead, Sajid Malik, the Chairman and Managing Director at Genesis International Corp, is with us. Sajid, thanks a lot for joining in. Appreciate your time here on CNBC TV 18. If you can just share a little more details about this strategic tie-up that you have. What is the investment that's required? What is the kind of revenue opportunity that we're looking at?
So, as you know, that we have been working on creating the India map stack, and this involves creating not just the 2D map layer, which is the conventional map layer, but also including the 3D dimension to it, which has engineering-grade applications and markets which are related to the needs of several verticals. So over the last 1.5 years, we have been in investment mode, really, and in terms of creating the content. So I'm happy to say that we have reached a stage where we have created the 2D map content for the entire country. We have done additionally 1 million kilometers of street imaging, street view as it is typically known, for more than 1,500 towns and cities. And we are capturing 3D in several cities in this country. So buoyed with that, we are proud to say that the Survey of India, which is the national mapping organization of this country, is now partnering with us in order to create this and co-create those digital twins. So we really have been, as I mentioned, focused over the last few quarters on an investment mode.
Sure. Sajid,
yeah, sorry.
Could you give us some numbers? What is the kind of investment that you will make in the next 1 year, and what is the kind of revenue opportunity that you see?
So we would be investing in upwards of around 200 crores in the content that we are developing. Okay. In terms of revenue opportunity, you need to remember that India is a large country, and thanks to the new geospatial policy, which was announced last year, which kind of spurred our content program. It is envisaged that just the markets in the infrastructure and in the urban space would be in the region of around 10,000 crores a year.
But hi, Mr. Malik, good morning, and thanks so much for joining in. That's the big opportunity. But, for you as the company, for Genesis, what kind of a revenue opportunity does it throw up? Or is this 10,000 crores the entire pie that you can do over a span of, many, many years?
No, this is actually, Nigel, the annual size, which is estimated by the government and by industry sources. You need to remember that prior to this industry did not exist. I mean, this data was not made available. It did not. So this is really the birth of the industry. And this is very much in line with, international trends. So if you were to look at a country of our size, and which is having the largest urban population, the largest trend of urbanization, I won't be surprised if those numbers are met.
Okay, let's get to the growth numbers then, Mr. Malik, because, the delivery till now has not been up to the mark. If I looked at FY23 as well, it wasn't even 200 crores. The street was bracing for a higher number. For this year, that's for FY24, give and take this, this new venture that you've signed, what kind of a number can you end at? Even at the half-year mark, it's a degrowth. So FY24, what kind of revenues do you do? FY25, what kind of revenues do you do?
Right. So as you know that we've not been giving guidance because of the fact that we are actually in the middle of creating the platform. So we would be in a better position to do so in a couple of quarters from now.
But will you at least grow for this year? That's FY24 in comparison to FY23?
We expect to do much better in the second half of the year. Yeah.
Okay, and just a quick question, that 200 crores investment that you
also need to remember that, we use aircrafts and we use a lot of other sensors, which have a certain amount of impact on the seasonality of what we do. So during the monsoons, there's a bit of a slowdown. So stuff like that does impact our earnings.
But you're saying you'll end this year, you're expecting this year to be some growth in comparison to last year. Just final question from my end. 200 crores is the investment you said you're going to be making. There are some outstanding, warrants that you had issued to Malabar and the likes. Will they be converting? Because the share price currently as well is much lower than that. So will that take care of bulk of this funding?
It's hard for me to answer that question because it's up
Then
to
how
the
do you fund the
investors
200 crores, sir? Then how do you fund
No,
the 200 crores?
we have the internal resources to do so.
Mr. Malik, hi, good morning. Sorry, we're kind of doing this backwards, but for a lot of our viewers are uninitiated in terms of what you do actually. So just a
Right, and that's a good question.
Are you comparable? Should we compare you to say a MapMyIndia? Is that a correct comparison?
Well, MapMyIndia is in the same space as we are in. We are building a similar platform, but we are also building the 3D platform along with it. So the markets that we are addressing go beyond the conventional navigation, e-commerce, logistics space, and we are also addressing the infrastructure space, which is really the much larger opportunity which is there. See, when you talk about mapping, it's as wide a space as, say, financial services. Most people are familiar with maps in terms of what they experience in the consumer apps, in e-commerce and the likes. But there are a host of large markets which actually require mapping data, which are way beyond pure consumer-driven applications.
So you okay? Fair enough. Mr. Malik, what we'll do is we'll have you back.
So hence really the partnership with Survey of India, right?
Okay.
I mean, the mandate of the Survey of India is to really create data. You need to remember that most of the infrastructure development in this country happened because of what the Survey of India did, many years ago.
Yeah.
So this is really a renaissance in a sense, and that renaissance is because of what's happened with the policy. And a company like ours is actually taking the lead in terms of developing that kind of infrastructure and content.
Short conversation today, Mr. Malik, but yeah, we'll have you back. I promise we'll have you back for a slightly longer conversation where we can get into some of this stuff in greater detail. But right now we're out of time, unfortunately. Thank you very much for your time, and great speaking with you here on CNBC TV 18.